there are so many people that have perfected the craft of writing business plans that they write business plans in their book. Hello, welcome back to our channel. Today's topic is how to plan your business. And you can't talk about planning a business without talking about how to write a business plan. First of all, what's a business plan? Business plan is simply a guide to how you want to run your business or how you intend to run your business. And there are two main reasons why we write a business plan. First is to raise money, and the second is for our own use. It's very, very important to have your own business plan. And it's not the same when you write the business plan you give an investor or a bank that you write the one you use in your business. It's totally different. Right? The one you're giving to an investor probably have like 3 to 10 years forecast of what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, why you're doing it. Your operational business plan should be time bound. You can use that word. It should be about series of short-term goals you set for your business. At most 6 months and at least 1 week, so that at every point state what do I want now and how do I get here. You write within the duration where you can pay attention to all the details that really matter in your business. Yeah. So it's about breaking down the why of your business into what and how. And that what and how are your short-term goals that will lead you to your long-term vision. For example, in my own business, I know the why I'm doing the business. I have my vision. I know like where I'm headed and okay, this is what I want for this business. But focusing on that why will deprive me of being in the moment and doing what I have to do to get there. So my operational plan is all about what do I want now? What do I want in a month for this business? How do I get it? And I like to plan my business within 3 main categories: the value, the profits, and the scope. When I say scope, I mean market share. And with that, I start working towards how do I get there, which is the details you have to pay attention to. Because if you don't know what you want now and how you get it, you eventually miss out on why you're doing it. With that in mind, you already know, okay, this is what I'm working to achieve this month. It gets your creative juice flowing, gives you a clearer picture, and it keeps you more in control of how you're running your business and what you're doing in your business. And in general, you find out that you're really happy with yourself and you get that sense of fulfillment in your business and in your life. So bearing that in mind, in value, okay, I'll say I want 70% positive reviews from my clients. The next step is how do I get 70% reviews from my clients? I have to pay attention to what's happening. I have to deliver on time. I have to make sure that the customer is satisfied. And that way it starts shaping your whole business operations and be like, okay, if I want positive review, first of all, I have to ask for it. And because you want positive review and you know you're going to ask for it, you now have to deliver a good service so that when you eventually ask, they'll give you a positive review. So you see the way it works. Like it just has a way of influencing the way you deliver, the way you think, the way you do your business, and it becomes effortless to you. When you're focused on creating value in your business, it has a way of directing your attention to those activities that might not necessarily give you profits as you're doing it, but it has great impact in the lives of your customers. And that is what all businesses should aim for. Because by creating impact, you gain loyalty of your customers and they'll be able to talk about your business without you even telling them to. They'll retweet you, they'll post you on Instagram, they'll do things for you without even you going out of your way to tell them, oh, give us a good review, because you've done something for them that they see value in. For example, a salon business could have a water dispenser that costs them about 5,000 naira every month. Although you can't see the direct profit in giving your customers cold water when they're waiting for their turn in the salon, it has a way of making your customers feel at home. They know that, okay, even if it's an hour that I had to wait, I can drink water while I wait. You might just think it's water, but it actually goes a longer way. It gives them that appeal that you care about them. That's where that loyalty comes in. People want to feel like they're understood. They want to feel like they're taken care of. Moving on to the next category, which is the profits. I could say, okay, this month I want to increase my profit by 20%. Then it leads me to, how do I increase my profit by 20%? There are 2 things that have to happen for you to increase your profits: spending less and selling more. Because no matter how much you sell, if you still spend so much, it's not going to work. You won't make any profit. So you have to first of all start thinking of, how do I reduce my operational costs? How do I spend less money? With your expenses cut down to the minimum, your profit will be able to rise. After you've cut down your operational expenses, the next direction to look at is, how do I sell more products? When it comes to selling more products, our mind goes to, promos. And that's actually true. You have to run promos to be able to sell more products. And in running promos, it's not restricted to offering discounts and dashing away products. No. Promos are any form of interaction with your customers. So in order to sell more products, you have to keep that interaction active. Another way you can increase your profit is by introducing new products or new services, because people like new things. So if you introduce and tell them, oh, this one is a new one, it's going to do this, going to that, they will buy, and what happens to profits? In trying to figure out the how, you start thinking, what did I do last month that was so great that I made the profit I made? You now start thinking, oh, if I was able to do this and make this amount of profit, meaning that if I double this particular thing I did, I could make more money. Or you could think, okay, last month I did this and I did that, and it did not really work out. I did not even make up the amount I wanted to make. Meaning that this month I'm going to cut off all those things that did not yield me any return, that did not add any value or any profit into the business. And then I'm going to try this particular thing to be able to increase my chances of increasing my profits by 20%. Moving on to my third category, which is the market share. What do I want to achieve with my market share? In a particular month, I could decide, okay, I want 10 new clients. Then it leads me to the question, how do I get 10 new clients? I could decide to increase my social media presence, host an event, or launch an advertising campaign that will create awareness about my product or my service in the market. The great thing about these three main categories I've created to guide my operational business plan is that they are so related in the sense that if you get the first category right, automatically the second category becomes easier, and also the third. For example, you work towards creating value. You find out that you will be happy, your clients will be happy, your customers will be happy, your workers, your associates, or whoever it is that you're doing business with will be happy. And when they're happy, the relationship gets stronger and gets more personal. And when that happens, it increases your market share. So it's like a ripple effect, which boils down to the value you create with your business. So let's go over everything from the beginning. The topic is how to develop an operational business plan. So I mentioned that an operational business plan is different from the business plan you write to raise money for your business. And the time bound should be from 1 week to 6 months. And the reason is so that you'll be able to pay attention to all the important details that could make your business scale. I mentioned that your vision is the long-term success you hope to achieve through your business. And you should be able to break down this long-term success or vision into short-term goals. And it's these short-term goals that will make up your operational business plan. That is why it's from 1 week to 6 months. And in creating a short-term goal, it's all about answering the questions what and how. So every month you ask yourself, what do I hope to achieve this month? And then how would I achieve it? I share that in my business, I break down my what into the value, the profit, and the market share, which you could try out because it helps me focus on the most important aspects of my business. I'll be able to pay attention to important details, which could have been neglected in your 3 to 10 years forecast. If you're able to do this weekly or monthly, whatever you decide your timeline should be, it will really pay off on the long run because weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and before you know it, 10 years have passed and you've achieved so much with your business. I hope this video answered some of your questions about developing an operational business plan. Now, I would love to hear from you. How do you develop the business plan using your business? You can leave your comments in the box below so that we can all learn together because learning is fun. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. If you need more resources on how to create value through business, check out our website and follow us on social media. You can also book a free session with us and invite us on your journey. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.